Things are looking good in that corner. And let's see how our paint turned out on the Cushman tailgate. It's looking good. Yeah, I didn't show my fix enough, but I had these pins, and I just added, instead of putting that C channel on, I just added a full piece of round stock all the way through. Just eliminated that channel since I put a heavier angle iron in. That gives it all the strength it needs. Before it was just this thin 332 gauge, whatever, 332 thickness. So that's what the channel was for, was to stiffen it up on the bottom, but this is plenty rigid. That's the tailgate. Yeah, I'll pull that tape off there eventually here. There's some of the welds are painted over now. A little bit rough on those welds, but my vision isn't what it used to be. I probably need to get glasses, but I know I still got the skill to weld better than most. Just got to get back on that horse and ride a little. Okay, I got that side painted. We'll give it a little time to dry, and then we'll flip that over and we'll hit the other side of it with paint. Probably call it good. I think for now I'm just going to remove these shelves. I'm going to head out and finish painting this tailgate for the Cushman buggy. Making it a charcoal gray, putting a final coat of paint over that primer. Let that dry out here in the sun. It's a nice day, so it can sit out there. I don't have to worry about too much debris or dust getting on it. We'll see how that looks when it dries, and maybe we'll add another coat. We're just using the Rust-Oleum charcoal gray. We primed it in black, and this is a charcoal gray. I think we'll take a little walk back here in the woods, see how wet it is. That river's right up to the bank, right up to the edge. It's about ready to flood. They're letting a lot of water out of the upstream dam, which is good. So they don't have to do it later or when it goes over the spillway. It would flood the heck out of us down here, which it has in the past. 1993 and 2008. This was all underwater. Let's take a little look back here at the river and see what it looks like. Maybe we'll see some pelicans or bald eagles. I don't know. Look at that. Make sure this floating dock doesn't float away. Oh yeah, she's right at the brim. I guess I could break up more of these. See a few more big chunks of concrete I could probably break up. It's still a little muddy over there, so we'll see. You know, over the weekend I was thinking about who this channel is really for. I'm just having fun kind of documenting what I do on a day-to-day basis, so maybe someday my daughter, my grandkids, and everybody can look back on some of the stuff I've done and reflect and maybe learn something, or at least learn enough to try to build the confidence to take things on, different projects that you normally have to pay people for. So I guess is what I was thinking. My channel is more for young kids that like to watch the tractors digging in the dirt, playing in the dirt. I'd say for the youth, 18 to 25, maybe you went to college, maybe you were in the military, maybe you didn't go to college, you don't know what to do. But there's a lot of talk online. Everybody's thinking you got to, do this or that, make 50 grand a month in order to survive. But my biggest advice would be just learn as much as you can, learn as many skills as you can, do every project the best you can. And over time, you're going to realize you have an arsenal of tools in your toolbox like no one else. And I've come to find out in life that labor is true wealth. I mean, you all know what it takes, how much money it takes to hire a contractor to do a project. Well, when you can do a lot of this stuff yourself, it's money in the bank, money that you can keep in the bank and invest in other things. So I guess my channel is really just to encourage young people, 18 to 25, that you can get out there and dig in the dirt. You can be very successful over time, but nothing comes quick. I work with my cousin. He owns hotels and cyber trucks and land and everything, but none of that came overnight for him. He's been working at this 50 years, and he's told me he's never really planned anything. He just let one thing lead to the next, and it's where he's at today. So I always find that encouraging. And yeah, I just mainly wanted to just tell the youth that just get out there and do stuff. Trust me when I say women are going to like you better in construction clothes and a little bit dirty than they will if you come in wearing a suit. I've done both over the years. That's just my personal observation. When I am covered in sweat and dirt and grease from welding and wearing my button-up denim shirt and the blue jeans, what a welder would wear, and a fitter's cap, I've had more women come on to me just out randomly in public than I ever did when I was cleaned up, wearing a shirt and tie and doing financial advising stuff. And that was boring. That was really, really boring. It's, it looks good to your friends. Oh, I'm a financial advisor, but in reality, it sucks. You're just spending weeks, months, just trying to get a client to the table. And once you finally do, then they back out. Or if they go through with, the sale or whatever, or, investments or life insurance or whatever, well, you worked really hard to get to that point. Once they sign the papers, you get a paycheck, but then it's back to ground zero, starting over again, working on the next client. I found that just boring and soul crushing over time. And so I've kind of gotten back out here just to play in the field. It's not really a job that I do. It's just more for fun. Just a way to stay busy, make content, hopefully share some cool experiences with, younger people to show that hard work can get you to a very successful place in life, but it just doesn't come overnight. And I've just seen so many videos where the youth today thinks they need 30, 50, 100 grand a month to survive. And I don't know. I mean, selling digital products or whatever, that's fine, but it's not going to last over 30 to 50 years. So you have to have something with some longevity, something that's going to last and not just die with the latest trend. We've all been kind of brainwashed to think we have to go to college to be successful. And then you've also been brainwashed to think that you go to college for 4 years, you get out, you land a job, and you're going to be making, 150, 200 grand a year. That's not reality. Not at all. Not at all. I think everybody should try to learn a trade or some skills. Labor is wealth. It's money in the bank. Anything you can do for yourself will save you hundreds, thousands, if not tens of thousands of dollars. Like in some of my past videos, we put in a septic tank, 1,500 gallon septic tank by ourselves. That would probably cost $12,000 to sub out to a contractor. Fixing a bar sink the other day at the hotel, that would be probably a $250 service call at least for, to hire a service guy to come in and fix. Yeah, and I'm sure you've seen countless other things: welding projects, rebuilding an air compressor, wrapping the river with concrete. You've seen us do all sorts of things. Just in the time I've been posting videos, we've probably saved $200,000 maybe in labor of dirt moving, breaking concrete, welding, engine swaps on air compressors, air piping, you name it. We do a little bit of everything. And I'm grateful for that because, sometimes you get locked up in one trade too long. You tend to hyper focus on one thing and don't really know a broad spectrum of other people's trades and how to do things. So it's good to know a little bit. And if you're 18 to 25, don't let people shame you thinking that the trades are for trashy people or whatever. I'm telling you, college and all that isn't what they say it is. It's not for everybody. Some people are going to have better luck just getting out there and working. Being a tradesman, a good tradesman, uses way more brain power. You have more up here than somebody sitting in a freaking desk just making phone calls. Trust me, I've done it all. I've done it all. I've even worked in politics, and don't get me started on that. These people, they think they're smart. So that's my advice today. Okay, so I peeled the tape off this tailgate. Here's what we got. There's what we got. And there was my fix. 3/8, I'm sorry, 5/8 round stock all the way through for the pins. Welds aren't the prettiest in the corners by any means. Had a little rust and paint I was fighting. I tried cleaning it up, but whatever. That's the tailgate. It's a lot better than it was. Well, the lettering didn't come out as nice as I would have liked it to, because I just had this little foam sponge brush. But it could have been worse. And for what this tailgate was and what we did to it, I think it is pretty good. Okay, well, that's it for today. Looks like a good spot to stop and call her a day. Thanks for watching.